So the Otsutsuki God is something that many Boruto fans have been talking about for a while now. Ever since it was introduced in Boruto chapter 55, with Ishiki Otsutsuki telling Code to feed either Boruto or Kawaki to the 10 tails where he can harvest the chakra fruits and transcend into this ultimate being, it has me thinking, will Kishimoto aka Kodachi from the basement aka whoever is writing Boruto, will they actually allow Code to transcend into the Otsutsuki God? This is something that I've been thinking about for a while now, ever since Code got his limbs removed in Boruto chapter 70. So with that being said, the one thing that I'm really optimistic about when it comes to Code is that I'm actually hoping we get to see Code transcend into this ultimate being. Code so far in the current manga arc has been somewhat of a disappointment simply because my boy's been getting his ass whooped ever since he was introduced as the main threat. With him fighting the likes of Boruto, Momoshiki, and Kawaki, my man's been racking up L after L after L, and now with his limiters being removed, he feels like he cannot lose anymore. Whenever Boruto and Kawaki fight Code again, I definitely do expect a ginormous beatdown. I expect Code to beat the dog shit out of Boruto and Kawaki. I don't expect this fight to be easy at all. With Code wanting to feed either Boruto or Kawaki to the 10 tails, the other goal he wants to have is of course exact revenge on Ishiki's killers. We know that Code wants to kill the likes of Naruto, Sasuke, Amato, and as of Boruto chapter 70, he did add Shikamaru to the hit list. Code does have an obsession over Ishiki Otsutsuki. He was willing to have limiters put on himself so he was actually able to be around Jigen due to the love that he has for him. Just like how Kawaki has the same love for Naruto in that same obsessive type way. So with that being said, now that Ishiki is gone, Code wants to exact revenge on his killers. Most likely the goal that he's going to bend toward to is that I feel like he's going to go toward the goal of becoming the Otsutsuki God. Kishimoto is not afraid to kill characters. For example, we did see Kurama die, which shows you that any character is willing to go. However, with that being said, I don't think either Naruto or Sasuke are going to die in this current arc. I feel like it might be a little bit too early for them to go. I don't mind if Naruto or Sasuke die in the Boruto series, but in my personal opinion, I definitely do think it is a bit too early for either of them to be killed by the likes of Code, for example. I definitely do think that both of them will be alive by the time we get to the time skip. I definitely do think there'll be a lot more time for them to be in the story to guide the new gen, for example, because I feel like Sasuke has not done enough to be around Boruto, for example. Sasuke hasn't done enough when it comes to teaching the likes of Boruto. Besides teaching him a lot of moral things when it comes to being with Boruto and training with him, we haven't gotten a lot of that. There should be a set of time where we actually do get more chapters and more content where we get to see the likes of Boruto and Sasuke together. Same thing goes for the likes of Naruto, Kawaki. Those conversations in the Boruto anime and manga hold so much weight. So killing either of them this early on in the series, I think that would be a bit of a mistake. So with that being said, killing these characters off right now, I'm not sure if that is going to be the most viable option. I wouldn't be mad if they did die. I don't really care too much, even though these are legacy characters. They aren't the main characters of Boruto. Of course, it is Boruto and Kawaki series after all. This series has mostly focused on the new gen, and while the old gen has gotten some shine, their goal in Boruto so far is to lead the new gen, for them to run the village in the future, as what we saw in Naruto Part 1 and in Shippuden. We saw what the likes of Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Kakashi did when it comes to training the Konoha 11 back in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. We need the likes of Naruto and Sasuke to stay alive in order to guide the younger gen as they grow up, because at some point we cannot rely on Naruto and Sasuke anymore. We have to rely on Boruto and Kawaki, and as we saw in the Code arc so far, Boruto and Kawaki have become the two strongest people in the Hidden Leaf Village. I don't really think Naruto and Sasuke have the power to keep up with these two. However, from a narrative perspective, they still need to be there to make sure these kids go in the right direction. Obviously, we saw what happened with Kawaki. We don't know what's gonna happen with Boruto, but with that being said, they still need to be alive. So I don't think Code will actually kill Naruto and Sasuke this early on. I definitely do think he'll beat them up, of course, but the one person that I feel like he would kill is Shikamaru. I feel like Shikamaru does not hold as much weight compared to Naruto and Sasuke from a narrative perspective, simply because yes, he is very important to the Hidden Leaf Village. However, he doesn't hold as much weight nor as much importance compared to Naruto in the story when it comes to connecting of characters like a Boruto or a Kawaki. If anyone on Code's hit list are going to die, it most likely would be Shikamaru and maybe Amato. If Naruto and Sasuke were going to die, I wouldn't be surprised, but like I said, I don't think they're going to die anytime soon. I think they're going to stay alive until post time skip. So maybe Code does stay alive until then. Maybe Code does get some bodies like killing Shikamaru and possibly Amato as we saw at the end of Boruto chapter 70. Let's talk about Code's other goal, and that is of course becoming the Otsutsuki God. From the looks of it, when Ishiki talks about the Otsutsuki God in Boruto chapter 55, it seems like when you become this Otsutsuki God, you transcend into this ultimate being. You can devour planets on planets on planets, especially when the Otsutsuki will was passed on to Code, and obviously with his limiters getting removed, he should have the power to kill the likes of Naruto and Sasuke and beat down the likes of Boruto and Kawaki. But if that isn't enough, he would definitely have the option to feed either Boruto or Kawaki to the 10 tails that he has in that hidden dimension in order to grow and harvest the chakra fruits in order to transcend into this being. Now obviously Code needs to feed either Boruto or Kawaki to the 10 tails, but the most likely person to be fed to the 10 tails is Boruto. I don't think Kawaki will be fed simply because of Ada's words. Ada wants to get with Kawaki, she does not want him to be hurt at all. We obviously saw that Ada has warned Code that if he ever lays a finger on Kawaki, she would not be afraid to hurt him. It is implied that both Ada and Damon are stronger than Code, even with his limiters removed. We did see in Boruto chapter 69 that Ada did say that if Code got his limiters removed and he still isn't strong enough, both Ada and Damon wouldn't hold back and would actually try to dispose of Code. And personally, I definitely do think both Ada and Damon, at least together in battle, do surpass the likes of Limitless Code, at least in a 2v1. Maybe in a one-on-one, Code would have the advantage, but since it's 2 Jigen level plus opponents versus 1 Jigen level plus opponent, meaning that the siblings would be triumphant over Code in battle. So with that being said, if Code were to feed an Otsutsuki to the 10 tails, it would most likely be Boruto. And not only that, Boruto is a much better option simply because he is at a higher DNA in terms of his Otsutsukification. Kawaki is at about 80% Otsutsukification, while Boruto is 100% Otsutsuki. So if you were to feed Boruto, that DNA would definitely translate into a bigger and more powerful chakra fruit. So that would mean whenever Code is actually able to harvest this chakra fruit once he feeds Boruto to the 10 tails, the powers that he would gain and the genetics that are updated would be much more powerful if Boruto is consumed by the 10 tails than compared to Kawaki. Kawaki would reap a much smaller and weaker fruit compared to Boruto simply because of the difference in the Otsutsuki DNA between the Karma brothers. So with that being said, Boruto sadly might actually die again. We saw that Boruto, when he did quote unquote die, when he was killed by the likes of Kawaki, he was fortunately revived by Momoshiki. We saw that Momoshiki gave the last 18% of the karma into Boruto's DNA in order to save him. Momoshiki won't be allowed to resurrect, making Boruto 100% Otsutsuki. And unfortunately, if he were to be fed by the 10 tails, there would be no way to actually save him. Momoshiki would not be able to heal him. I doubt Kawaki would have the power to stop a Limitless Code due to a narrative perspective of Code getting his limiters removed. Since Code feels like he can't lose anymore, he should have a lot easier time when it comes to fighting both Boruto and Kawaki. He should be able to defeat him. I don't really see how a nerfed Naruto or a nerfed Sasuke would have the power to stop Code from feeding Boruto. So the only way for Boruto to make sure it doesn't happen, where he doesn't get fed by the 10 tails, is 1, be strong enough to not be fed, or plant a karma seal onto Code. I've talked about this in the past. When he first died, Boruto wasn't really at 100%. If you were to give a karma to Code at that point, Momoshiki may have been able to resurrect it from there. So even if Boruto resurrected, so would have Momoshiki. Momoshiki's karma would have came along as well. So with that being said, now that Momoshiki cannot resurrect inside of Boruto's body anymore, Boruto does have this power to implant a karma seal. This is something that they did talk about. Of course, this may be a red herring, but if Code actually goes along and feeds Boruto to the 10 tails, the one way Boruto could actually avoid this is by actually implanting a karma seal onto Code's body. This would have to happen very quickly and in a discreet way if Boruto gets killed off again, because if he does get killed where the 10 tails harvests a chakra fruit and Code actually updates his genetics, Boruto would still be able to kill Code. I think that would be pretty dope to see, but that's obviously me thinking in the future. But with that being said, let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. Do you think Code actually has a chance of becoming the Otsutsuki god? Personally, I do think that if the writers are going to go down this route, Boruto most likely will be fed to the 10 tails, and if he's going to get killed, he's going to have to come back eventually. I just want to talk about it because I feel like the writers can be very ambitious with Code. I'm hoping that Code isn't just a one arc villain. Let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.